Today's the day we are going to move the car over to the shop. The shop has the other motor, and the old motor that's blown up in the car needs to be taken out, and a few of the Pantera specific parts on it will need to go onto the new motor before we can start looking at getting it back in. So today was a matter of basically just getting the car back up onto a trailer and get it transported over to the shop. So I rented a U-Haul and I ended up building a remote, or at least a portable winch setup. I just went and bought a cheap winch that had the capacity to move this car even with a motor in it, and some jumper cable so I could run it up to the front of the battery. And obviously the winch itself came with a fuse on it. Ideally you want that fuse close to the power source as possible, but it ended up be a little further closer to the winch, but that's all right. Either way it's going to work. So now I'm basically pulling the winch cable over the car. Now it's going to be pulled up. I had to do this in small increments, and essentially I had to do this move by myself, so I was kind of checking back and forth a couple times to make sure I had everything lined up. The incline is reduced with the pieces of wood, and the blocks obviously I spread out, and I had to pull it onto the truck backward, because if I did done it from the front, it would have potentially drug the strap directly into the body, and I didn't want to do that. Obviously that could cause some damage, so it went in from the rear, and plus where I was dumping it off at the shop, it's just easier to push it off the trailer from the front and just use the brakes. The brakes are still working at this point in the car, and obviously even without a motor, but that was crucial in getting into the shop. So here you can see I'm kind of winding up the winch back up, and eventually I'll put it all the connections. There's a quick disconnect you can see on there. All those connections are going to go back inside the box. So the goal this week is going to be to get the motor out, swap the parts over, and stuff the new motor back in, and see what other discrepancies we can find along the way. So we'll see you next time.